Welcome to the Road is Dead podcast, episode 140. I'm your host, Rob Curtis. I'm here in the studio with
Leah Sanda.
Tim Strelecki in the house.
In the house. Everybody is here. I'm just looking at our numbers. Our numbers are going all over the place for some reason, but I'm sure they will stabilize. So it is the very end of July. It's July 30th.
It's crazy. Time's flying.
We've got one more day before cyclocross season officially starts here in the Chicagoland area, because nothing says cyclocross quite like August 1st. I should get some shirts made like that.
Go for it.
For myself, because I'm the only one that would ever wear it. But, But if you would wear it, let me know. Go ahead and send us an email at roadisdead@gmail.com. Once again, that email address is roadisdead, all one word, @gmail.com.
I just cooked up a design in my brain. I'll give it to you after the program.
Yeah, we should do that. We won't, but we should.
Limited edition.
Limited edition, yeah.
People buy things when you label it limited,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
How many times have you bought something, Leah, that says limited edition?
Every time. I'm a sucker for that.
You're a sucker. I don't know about for that shit, but
okay.
Well, on that note, but we just got done. So this is the Wednesday. We went 3 weeks, I think, didn't we, without recording? Because I think
it's been a minute.
Yeah.
We were going to record one the week before in Telly, and something happened, or Grit, something happened. And then obviously we missed the Grit week because, on Thursday it was super hot. Everybody was racing, and I was getting a 2.5-hour root canal done. We didn't come in for that. So let's do a Grit recap. Grit just finished on Sunday in Fulton Market. 10 days of racing. Crits.
Yeah.
And I'm getting texts about what we were talking about earlier. But anyway, we're going to skip that for now.
Yeah. I'm sorry I brought it up.
So anyway, crits. I didn't really do anything. I didn't race anything, obviously. I didn't do anything other than go to every race. I took 2 days off. Did not go to Lombard. Did not go to, what was Thursday? Northbrook. I didn't go to Lombard or Northbrook. One, Lombard was kind of a planned break. Just really hard to get the tent in there and get it, get the weights and pass the fireman's inspection. And then you're sitting out there on the concrete the whole day. So if I was going to take a break, that was going to be the day, knowing that the whole team will still be there. There's plenty of places for them to find shade. But then this year it turned into, I had a massive tooth infection that led to needing a root canal on Thursday, and then a cracked tooth on the first day that necessitated some grinding and gluing on Tuesday. So I missed 2 days that were full of tooth repair. Lots of fun. It turns out when you turn 50, your body starts to fall apart. Just FYI. So,
I'll be 50 in January. Mine's already falling apart.
Yeah, well,
Well, you beat the snot out of it, Tim.
I was going to say, you try to do everything you can to accelerate that.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So anyway, I just hauled gear, so I don't really have much to report other than general numbers and things like that. But outside of that, you guys both raced. Who wants to go first, Leah? Okay, why don't you go ahead and go?
Oh, okay. I guess I've been volunteered. I feel like my Grit this year was very meh, ho-hum. Never really went into it intending to race. I didn't even know if I was going to race until maybe a couple weeks out. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to pick 6 races to sign up for. And then if I decide to only do one, I mean, that would be kind of silly, but I figured I'd at least do maybe 4. But I was going to just decide, kind of like take my mental temperature each day and decide, how's the weather? How am I feeling? I really didn't have the training in the bank for this, certainly not to do the whole series. So I signed up for Glen Ellen, but didn't race because it was raining. I signed up for Winfield, which was my first race then of Grit, which was amazing. It was probably the best weather of the whole week, I think. It was a beautiful
Overcast
day.
And cool.
Yeah.
That was nice.
I rode my bike, met up with Kenny en route and rode to Winfield from home, which is about a 20-mile ride. And it was a perfect warm-up. And I had a really good race. I was a little it's not, it was a really small field, which I
Mhm.
kind of knew going into it that they would be kind of small. And as happens with small races, it tends to be really slow, interspersed with hard jumps for preems
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
attacks
Yeah.
and stuff. The Indigo girls were doing a great job of attacking and counterattacking, and so I mean, you had to pay attention. But in a field with 13, it was pretty manageable. I really didn't have to think hard about positioning because
Right.
you could be at the back the whole time and it's fine. I ended up with my best finisher. I finished 5th,
Nice.
and I got my
That's awesome.
only in the money finish of the series for a whopping $20, which I'm not
Yeah.
complaining about because,
No, that's good.
So after
I
that,
think just
go ahead.
Sorry to jump in. I don't. Yeah, I in general, why would any of us ever complain about prize money? But I just want to throw out my whole thing as a race director is you never offer prize money that is less than what it costs to enter the race. That's just a pet peeve of mine. When if it costs you $70 to enter the race, the lowest paying position should be $70.
Right.
Just want to go on record saying that. Sorry.
I think that's fantastic.
Personally, I mean, I don't expect payouts at the level I'm racing at. I'm not a pro. I'm not doing the elite races. The fact that they offer anything is kind of nice. So anyway, I did not race on Monday. I did not race on Tuesday. I decided up front that I wasn't going to sign up for those two. I did drive out to Lombard on Tuesday to deliver some tools because Trish Black was having some moto issues with her moto. And they needed some special tools to do some repairs. And so Dave Folks reached out to me, and my husband happened to have those in his race shop. So
nice.
I hand delivered those on Tuesday and hung out and watched some racing. So then my plan was to race Wednesday Brookfield and Thursday Northbrook, which I did. Wednesday was brutal hot. It's 4 miles from my house, so naturally it was easy to just roll over there. In fact, I rode over in the morning because I was just bored sitting around the house being all like, yeah, it's race day. It's race day. What do I need to do? And I was super antsy. So I just jumped on my bike and I rolled over there and was riding around the course when they were trying to set up fencing, which probably annoyed them, but it's like whatever. And so I actually spent like an hour on the bike, not riding hard, but just tooling around, which was nice because it kind of like chilled my brain out. And then rolled over there later in the day for the race. And I started cooking. Like my brain actually felt like it was melting halfway through the race. I really was feeling overheated. It did not feel good. I still nabbed 7th in the finish. But
do you use an ice sock?
I used ice sock. I soaked my kit. But I realized the one thing that felt overheated big time was my head.
Really?
So I remembered then after my race that dumping water all over my hair, because I have a lot of hair.
Yeah.
So being able to soak my hair in water is super helpful to keep my head cooled down, because when you're riding, then the air against your wet hair, it's kind of cooling.
Yeah.
So I did that for Thursday and it helped immensely. I felt much better, even though I don't think it was quite as bad Thursday, but it definitely helped keep me feeling a little cooler in the race.
Yeah. I remember Brookfield was very hot.
It's very hot. And Northbrook was good. It started actually raining in my race for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I, normally I don't race in the rain, but we were already racing. So I just tried to do, okay, I'm going to kind of sit at the back, a little off the back, and try to stay safe. And if anybody slides out in front of me, I have enough gap that I can avoid them. I shifted to being more on the inside of the turns instead of the outside, just to avoid anything. And nobody went down. It stopped raining, and then it was fine. I was actually feeling really good in the race Thursday, and then I did something silly in the final lap. I went to the front before the second to last turn because I don't like how people go through that turn. And I was like, I'm just going to go to the front. And it came out of that turn, and I thought, oh shit, this is way too soon for this girl to start going hard. So I kind of went semi sort of hard, and I was like gonna let people come around me, but they didn't right away, and it just kind of screwed my whole finish up. And I ended up sprinting in at the back of the field.
Yeah, it's longer than you think between that turn and the final turn.
Right. And so anyway, that was that. Friday I took off. Came out, watched you race, Tim.
Yeah.
But that was it. And then I raced. I skipped Saturday because Lake Bluff looked rainy and I just wasn't feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just raced Sunday and I got spit out the back 8 minutes in. A bunch of fast girls popped up into my race, and I fought like hell for that 8 minutes, trying to hang on and hope it would settle down at some point. But it was just attacks and preems and fresh legs and a couple pros that jumped down out of the pro race into my race. And it was way faster than I was prepared to handle, combined with not really warming up. I rode my bike into the city, and that was my entirety of my warm up.
Damn, you rode into the city from your house?
Yeah, it's actually not that far, 16 miles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's a really sweet ride on a Sunday. There's no traffic.
Nice.
It's just really easy ride. So, yeah, that was my grit. I mean, I had some decent finishes. I had some days I felt okay. I struggled in the heat. I realized I don't do really well in this humidity. I don't mind heat, but the humidity was really, really making it hard for me this year.
Yeah, there were some days where it was overwhelming.
Yeah,
it was hard.
So yeah, considering I had my fitness overall, if you look at Training Peaks and fitness, and I know where I tend to track over the years and where I need to be to really feel good in these races, I was nowhere near it, and I knew going into it that I was just gonna, just go see if I could have some fun, and I did. I enjoyed
Good.
racing, even though I was nowhere near.
Yeah.
Anywhere near top form for me, but that was okay.
As long as you had fun.
Yeah.
Have some positive takeaways from it. I mean, what more do you want?
Yeah.
What more can you ask for?
I'm kind of taking a chill year and just kind of winging it and just being okay with that, because I've been racing my ass off for a long time, and I kind of needed a year to just say,
what the fuck? Who cares?
Right.
Yeah. Everybody needs that. It's just hard to actually pull the trigger on it and be okay with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just being okay with it. And so I have to talk to myself occasionally when I have a conversation with myself in the morning in the mirror, and it's like, okay, we understand where we're at and we're okay with it. And when I change my mind and decide I want to start focusing again, I will. But right now I'm still pretty chill with where I'm at.
Good. That's healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, mental health is as much important as, if not more important, as your physical health.
Yeah. It's been a big year,
especially when it comes to sport.
And with everything going on with this, buying the place in Tucson and everything going on with that. Yeah. And it's like, oh my God, there's so much on my head, in my brain with life that, it's nice to not have to worry about racing as much.
Yeah. No, that's good.
So
that's good.
How about you?
Boy, I think overall for me, the Grit Cup was better than expected. I think I got bit by the crit bug real hard when I decided to do the Elmhurst Cycling Classic in, what was that, June, beginning of June, end of May or something like that. Right. I'm like, I'll just do it because it's a good group of people. The course is always nice. The crowds are good, whatever. But I was like, it's just close to home and it's something to do, right? So I'm like, okay, and it ended up being a ton of fun. So I'm like, after that, the wheels really started turning. I'm like, man, maybe I should just do this. And then I went and did 3 stops of Toad, and the ball just kept rolling, and the stoke was high, and I was like, this is good. This is a direction to go in. Right. Whereas before, in the first 5 months of the year, I had no direction, and doing the ECC and Toad kind of put me down the direction of racing crits. So when Grit came to town, obviously there's no excuse not to do it because all the events are super close.
Right.
The only thing that stalled me for a while was just the cost of doing 10 races, but I managed to get the discount on the discount on the discount that they kept throwing out there, and I did the did the race math, and it actually turned out being less than $1 a minute. So I'm like, perfect, this will work. I'll do this.
Yeah.
So signed up for all 10, and I would say for me, the first 4, I was terrible. I had done some like focus training in the weeks leading up to it. I kind of went back through my my old Rob Kelly playbook back when he was my coach, and took some of the workouts out of there and repeated those quite a bit. But doing that in like kind of an accelerated fashion
Right.
doesn't give you the same stimulus as when you spread it out properly over X amount of months to build
Right.
up for something.
Right.
So I did the best I could with those, got through them, thought I was in a good spot. My form was, my CTL was high. My form was where I thought it should be. Actually, it was probably a lot higher than I've ever had going into a race series, which I thought was good. But West Dundee, I got in a break and got ridden out of the break. And that was kind of like, that was a lot on my system. I felt physically. The course felt harder to me than it ever has before. I don't particularly think that leg breaker is very hard, but it felt a little hard, which meant I was underprepared. And then the next day I finished third there. The next day, Glen Ellen got into a break again, got ridden out of it again, was riding around in a 2-man for the final spot on the podium, managed to outsprint the guy and get third again. So I was like, okay, I think I got lucky these first 2. But I ended up on the podium. So I was like, cool. But I still didn't feel great. And then we went to Winfield, and Winfield is not my style of course. It's long, it is what it is. It's a hot dog with a downhill finish, and it doesn't suit a rider like me. It's kind of a boring event, because I don't feel like a lot of the people in the Masters field are strong enough to make a break stick. There are guys in there that can do it, but it's getting the right mixture of people to actually stick it.
Right.
So that race usually comes together in a field sprint, and I do my best. I think I got fifth there. Fifth there. I got fifth there. So I was like, okay, that's better than I did it last year. And then we went to what was Monday? Monday was Mundelein, right? Mundelein was a new course, new venue, which I thought was good. They had that long start straight with the left-hand turn up the hill. So doing hill repeats for almost an hour was taxing. And I felt that towards the end. Didn't really fare well in the finale and got 6th there. So I was like, oh no. Like
wasn't Mundelein the first day that you had a new rider that joined up with you? Guy was from Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, Bahati, no. Bahati came in at Lombard. He came in the next day. But again, like you had said, Leah, with small fields, it's like relentless because everyone's taking their shot, and there's like no, okay, the break's up the road. We're going to chill for a minute, then we're going to go get it and bring it back. It's just like boom, boom. It's constantly going. And, with the preems being thrown, dudes are just in it. There's a lot of guys in the Masters field that don't care about their placing. They're just there for the cash.
Right.
So they would chase every breakdown, or they would chase the cash. And then, the field naturally reacts to that. And you just it just felt relentless for a while. And then Lombard rolled around. And Lombard, I was like, oh my God, this is pathetic. It was literally like one row of dudes. And then I turned to my left shoulder, and Bahati was sitting back there, and I'm like, okay, he showed up. So basically, we're all racing for second. And then that was a wild race because I'm not a super huge fan of the Lombard course. I just don't like racing through a parking lot. I think they're doing what they can with the land that they're allowed to race on. If that makes sense.
Right.
I don't see Lombard as being a community that's really going to embrace a neighborhood style crit like some of the other courses. So that's the course. That's what we have. It's the same for me as it is everyone else. I just don't fancy it. That being said, we were like 4 laps in, and I hear this loud bang, and I look over my left shoulder, and on one of those big islands on the backside of the course by the train tracks, Bahati is blasting through that. He flips over the bars, lands in the bush. I turn around, I see him like completely upside down, staring at the sky, and I just watch him just slam the ground. I'm like, oh, dude, that looks so bad. So we came around, and I shouted to Brenda Fury. I was like, you might want to get a medic to the backside of the course because Bahati looked like he killed himself. but we went around and he was walking, a bike on the shoulder back to the pit, got back in the race, checked himself out, got a free wheel, and smoked us all in the sprint and won the race.
Yeah.
So I mean, that to me is that's just insane that you can hit the ground that hard, get up, and still kind of. I mean, obviously he's working on adrenaline, and the dude just knows how to race. So
right.
And our field was small, so all he had to do was tail gun it, sit in the back, figure out his sprint gear, and kill us all, which is what he did. Ended up getting fourth there. I was like, okay, that's not terrible. At least I'm not like sixth or worse. And then from that day, but in the middle of Lombard, I'm thinking to myself, like, you feel good, like your legs are good, your breathing's under control, like everything feels like it's coming around.
Right.
So that was positive. I rode home after that, shook the day out, and was like, okay. I woke up the next day for Brookfield and was like, all right, everything, like my recovery looked good, I felt good, and I'm like, okay, this is starting to go in the direction I'd like it to go, as far as waking up in the morning and feeling well. Like I stopped looking at my Training Peaks account. I stopped looking at my Whoop stuff. I'm like, I don't really give a shit what any of that says right now. I just want to go off of how I feel.
Right.
And do what I know how to do depending on how I'm feeling.
Right.
So that's how I went the remainder of the series, like took all the electronics out of it. And then Brookfield was awesome. I really enjoyed that course. That really tight first corner was interesting. I think when our race started, like 5 dudes went from the gun. And I was like, that'll come back, or that doesn't look that serious. But it got real serious before we got to the first turn. Like they had a gap, and I was like, oh God. And then I went around the outside of the first corner to go around a slower rider on the inside, and I went with too much speed, and it put me in the gutter. And then my chain dropped off. Mm-hmm. And I was like, thinking to myself, all right, first just get it on. So I futzed around with it, got it on. And I was like, okay. But by then, Lanyon had shot across and was making his way to the break, and I'm like, oh God damn it. Like I have to bury myself to get to this. And it took me like a lap and a half to get to it. So I got there. And when I got there, it was like, it still was kind of together. Like there were some guys from the field trying to make their way, but they never did. And it turned out being a 5-man break. And we participated good. It seemed like we never let off the gas on that course for some reason. Like we all rotated nicely, but the gas just seemed like it stayed on. And I was like, I think inside of 5 to go, I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to make this. It was like, I'm like, we were been killing ourselves for quite a while now. And it seemed to like ease up with 2 or 3 to go. Like we were a group of 5, and there was one guy skipping poles. Just completely skipping poles. So it was 4 of us rotating, and he was just sitting on. But he had told all of us, he's like, I'm not sprinting you today at all. Like I'm just here. I'm not gonna mess you guys up at all. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, I've heard this before. Yeah. So I was like, I don't know if I trust this. But when we got down inside of like 5 to go, he filtered himself in. And was like taking poles for the group. So I thought that was cool. And then we got on the backside of the bell lap, and we're still 5 together. And I magically somehow was allowed to be last wheel. And I was like, oh, this never happens to me. Like I never get this gift. Like I'm usually forced to lead. And then I don't know how to play it because I'm just like dumb. So my plan going into it was like, okay, I have to jump before the penultimate corner. Like that was my thought. I'm gonna go full gas into the second to last corner, sprint to the last corner, and sprint to the line, because for once the finish line wasn't super far from the last corner. Like it wasn't a 400-meter dash. Right. It was probably like 100, 150 meters. It wasn't very long. So I'm like, I think I got that in me. Like I could do that. So I did what I said I was going to do. I sprinted to the last corner, caught everyone off guard. I think I had a gap, and then going to the last corner, still had a little bit of a gap, started my sprint, and I just died I didn't die. I just don't have that like 1% right at the end. Mm-hmm. I did a good sprint, and I just got pipped at the line for the win. So finished second there. That was cool. I mean, I don't think I could have done anything else right. So that was nice to go home with the feeling of a good race there. What was after that? Northbrook. Northbrook's hit or miss for me. Like I don't know. I don't have a true feeling about that course yet. I do know that that was the second day of the 50 plus being able to filter into our field, because the 40 plus by itself was super small, like your women's 2-3 field, and it was kind of like, sucks. But a lot of the guys from the 50 plus filtered into our field, so it made our field bigger, more dynamic, a little stronger, a little more, bodies to fill gaps and things like that.
Right.
So you're not constantly having to do all the work. So Northbrook it's a good course. I don't mind it. I don't find it very challenging. I think the only thing that's challenging is that second to last corner where it's a
Right.
little tight, and there's a manhole cover entering it where you want to start taking your corner, and then there's a manhole cover right at the apex.
Right. Yep.
So the two, and there's two painted crosswalks.
Right.
So I get the manhole covers and the painted crosswalks freak people out. Like they
Right.
just don't trust themselves or trust their tires or whatever. But I had never come away from a race thinking that there are so many older men that cannot turn their bikes. I'm just like, God damn, guys, like on the brakes so much. I'm just like, you don't have to hit the brakes that hard. Like you'd haul balls down that straightaway and then everyone would go, just hit the brakes. It's like, come on. And if you're in the wrong spot and the wheels you want to be on are up the road, you got to burn a lot of matches to get back up there.
Yep.
Anyway, it was just a real kind of disorganized race. There was no real team kind of controlling things. We were all over the place. I was kind of all over the place in the middle of it, just like this doesn't feel fun. I think I sprinted to third there. I put myself in a good position on the bell lap on the backside before the last corner. I'm like, okay, this is good. I got jumped by one guy, and I'm like, all right, this is a good wheel to be on. So I was on it, and then another guy took a hard inside line, came between us, and then the three of us sprinted for the win. And I thought I could have at least got second because I was gaining on them, but the line came up too quick. So I finished third there, not disappointed. And then Thursday, Friday is Elgin. Elgin's always good.
Yeah. You won there last year.
I did win there last year. Thought I was going to do it again this year, but just got pipped at the line again for the win. But I rode a good race, a smart race. We made the break early. And that's kind of an easy course to do it on because of the hill.
Right.
It separates a lot of people that really don't like climbing. And I think what separates people more than the climb itself is the ripping downhill before it.
Yep.
Because if you don't trust yourself or the people around you or your tires or anything like that, and you don't know the line, you can easily crash your brains out there. But there is a line there, and our brake hit the same line every time. It's between the manhole cover and the curb. Keep a note on that for next year if you participate. It's still sketchy, but it's high speed. It's like 40 miles an hour downhill.
Right.
And then you go, you come up a little hill and then you got to climb to the finish. So, did the best I could, had my formula, played it again where I led the entire last lap because I'm thinking they're going to force me to lead this. So I'm like, okay, I'll just do my thing, ride at tempo, and I'll hit the chicane hard, go as fast as I can to the downhill, and we'll see what we can do from there. And that's exactly what I did. And 3/4 of the way up the hill, got nabbed for. No, it was more. It was closer than that, wasn't it? It was like right at the line. I think it was right at the line, like 2 feet from the line. It was cool, second place there. And then we went to Lake Bluff. Lake Bluff's another great course. Probably one of my favorites there, just because of I think it's an ACC race. The neighborhood's always welcoming. The course is rad just because it's, a bunch of turns left, right. The false flat finish line is a separator. Usually do really well there. I won't bore you with the details. Ended up sprinting for third there. Rode a good race, rode a solid race. Again, kind of was one of those ones where no one really wanted to control it. A break didn't get away like it usually can, and has in years past. So field sprinted for third there, and then Chicago was on Sunday. We all know the long hot dog there, and that's just. I woke up on Sunday morning going, you know what? Whatever happens today, it's been a good series for me. I got an overall podium spot in the bag. I'm just going to race this race however I feel like I want to, or however, wherever my brain takes me during the event. And That's what I did. I finished like 8th or 9th. I didn't really care. I mean, let me rephrase that. I do care because I would have liked to have finished out on the podium, but I'm not beating myself up about it. It's not my
Right.
style of course. It's a course where the whole entire field can stay together because it's so fast and flowy. There's nothing technical about it. And it's just, it doesn't suit who I am as a rider. I'm not a big powerhouse kind of guy.
Yeah.
So, rolled through with a top 10 there, second overall in the series. I mean, I really don't have anything to be bummed out or pissed off about because I think that overall, I think all in all, the series for me personally went way better than I could have expected it.
Nice.
6 out of 10 days on the
Yeah.
podium.
Yeah.
I mean, you were super consistent.
Yeah.
You never had like a bad day.
Yeah.
Your worst finish was what, 6th?
6th.
And you were on the podium.
Yeah.
Probably at least half of those days.
6 out of 10.
So I mean, the consistency certainly gets you up there.
Yeah, and that's I think that's the key in
Yeah.
a week-long plus series is just your consistency. You allow yourself to have a day where it's like, okay, I don't feel great. I'll do what I can, but don't beat yourself up about it because tomorrow's a new day.
What are your top, like, these are the things I must make sure I do every day to make sure that I'm able to recover and reset from day to day to day?
I think what I really focused on was, being that it was so hot, my first thing was to focus on hydration. So my hydration in the morning before the event, leading up to the event, and especially after was hyper focused. I mean, I took a lot of electrolytes, a lot of element, a lot of electrolytes in my bottles for racing, which I usually don't do. I was using a couple gels during some of the races, but my bottles for the most part were, endurance fuel of some sort, some kind of mixture, depending on the temperatures of the day. I focused on immediately getting my protein in after in a shake, and I do like a protein with a little bit of creatine in it. So I put that in there, get that down in a timely manner. And then I was heavy on compression boots. I have compression boots that I use, so I made sure I was consistent with those every single night for at least 30 minutes or more. And then I have like this recovery tool that I bought probably 15 years ago at a running store. It's called an R8. It's a roller. Basically, it's got 4 rollerblade wheels on either side, and it's on hinges, and you just roll your legs out.
Oh yeah, I think I have that.
It's like a modern torture device.
It hurts.
It hurts like hell.
It fucking hurts.
But I use that a lot on my quads and my hamstrings and stuff like that, and some other little tools that I have at my disposal to make sure really I was just kind of like flushing the day out of my legs.
Yeah.
And then some of the days, depending on how I feel when I woke up, I would do like a 30-minute, just super easy, small ring spin down by the river. Just to kind of like say, okay, we got to wake the body up a little bit. Nothing, no strain, just very easy to kind of let the legs open up for the morning. And then my warm-ups were like hit or miss, depending, because I don't warm up on a stationary bike or stationary trainer or rollers or anything like that. I like to roll around and kind of find a designated like little course to just rip around on. Some venues are a lot easier to do it at than others. But that was a struggle day in and day out, just kind of depending on what course we were at. But I managed it. I been doing this long enough to know, all right, if I spend 30 minutes and just focus on this, and this, I could get a good warm up in and go. But as far as recovery, it was just hydration, flushing the legs, and making sure I ate a shitload of food.
Yeah.
Because even when you're sleeping, you're burning carbs, burning calories. So I made sure I ate a lot of food, good breakfasts in the morning, and just made sure, like I said, the post race activity was solid.
Right. Right.
And that was pretty much it. But it was good, and a lot of it seemed to work. And I think disconnecting from my wearables because if you stare at that all the time, every morning, and you're like obsessed with how do I feel,
it gets
and
in
how
your
I
head.
Yes.
Yeah, I intentionally did not. I have the Aura ring, and then I
Yes.
intentionally did not look at what it said in the morning because I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I am gonna go by how I feel.
Yeah, and I think I did that the first few days, and naturally, like the Whoop says you're this, but you feel different. It says you need to recover, but you're in the yellow, but I feel good, so I'm not going to listen to you. And then Training Peaks, naturally, when you have I don't know what my CTL going in was like a 130, and it just slowly drops, and I'm like, I'm not going to look at that either because I know there's training stimulus going on. It's just not volume based.
Right.
So I'm not worried about. I don't give a damn what this number says. I'll pay attention to it and rebuild it when the series is over.
Right.
Because the stimulus that I'm getting through racing the Grit Cup is completely different than all the stimulus I've had for the first 7 months.
Right.
And it showed in the first few days. Like, as much as I tried to think that the training I was putting in was good and quality and valuable, which it was, because if I didn't do it, I would have been much worse.
Mm-hmm.
So I did get a little fitness bump, but it wasn't where I needed to be for day one. But I built into it, and my body got used to the effects of 50 minutes of just all out racing.
Yeah.
With very little rest in between. And by day 5, like I said, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
And then my body just held up the whole way. I mean, I think with like 3 to go at the Chicago stop and at Fulton Market, I was like, I'm tired. Like, I can feel it. I'm tired. But everyone else is tired too, in a different way.
Absolutely.
Their fatigue hits them in the front of the series or in the back of the series or wherever. Everyone's tired. It's a long series, especially if you race all 10. The one thing I was surprised that didn't happen is I didn't get like moody and cranky and bitchy and like like grumpy.
Yeah. No, I know that. I get that one. Yeah, I've started to pick up on that because like if you're fatigued and stuff, it's like that's a good indicator.
Yeah, like if you wake up in a bad mood and you just can't shake it and you feel terrible. I was talking to somebody. I'm like, if you feel like this, just take tomorrow off. Don't race.
Yeah.
Don't race. It's okay. Come back the next day, refreshed, relaxed. Everyone that wants to keep pushing themselves, let them. But you take a break if you need to. But easier said than done.
Right. Exactly. But and for the record, I love your Instagram posts.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
I actually sat down and I got caught up the other day and pretty much read through all of your posts from the whole week. And you do such a great job of putting the emotion into it that you're experiencing instead of just like telling the facts.
Well, that's kind of the racer that I've always been. I'm certainly not the strongest. I'm definitely not the smartest, but the one thing I do better than everybody is I race with my heart.
Yep. Yeah.
And that has always, it's worked out for me in the past as far as getting good results, and it's, shot me in the foot before. But if my vantage point is if I can go out there and just do my best every single time, whether I win or lose, if I know that I've given it everything I had, I can't be mad.
Right.
I can't be mad at that. And that's what I translate into my post, and that's what I give the people.
Yeah.
It's just the truth.
Yes.
The truth, because a lot of social media is not truthful.
Yeah. A lot of people want to paint their idyllic picture of what they, how they want to be seen instead of their truth.
Right.
The image they want to present. And no, I think it's super refreshing to see, how you process, how you handle each day when you have good days and bad days. And sometimes you kind of get mad at yourself because, and to see that, I mean, makes it feel more human. It's like, oh yeah, I have those days too, instead of, just feeling like I'm screwing up for some reason because I'm not feeling super happy and super awesome all the time.
Yeah.
So
it's humanly impossible to feel awesome and fresh and in good spirits. You can't do that every single day. You are, like you said, you're human. You have emotions. You have good days and bad days. And I'm not afraid to share that.
Yeah.
Because the way I see it is, if I share my bad times with people, there's maybe someone that can relate to that. There's maybe someone that can relate to that, receive the message, and know that it's okay.
What so Rob, I know you didn't race any of the races, but you were there for most of them. I mean, how did you feel like the vibe and the energy was overall in general? Did you notice any difference this year from last year?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Why don't you speak about it first? Because I don't want to be the.
I will. This is what I will say. All the 9, Friday, Friday at West Dundee, all the way until Saturday at Lake Bluff, every single stop felt the same to me as it always has.
Mm-hmm.
Given the venue.
Yeah.
Nothing special, nothing overwhelming, nothing to wow me. Right when I rolled up.
Right.
When I rolled up into Fulton Market on Sunday with Darcy, and I was trying to find where we were sitting by the wheelman, I walked down the start finish straight, and the announcers were as hyped as I've ever heard them for like the first race of the day. The crowds were huge. There was just this buzz in the air, and I found myself walking like a block, and I had goosebumps. I was like, God damn, if this could be every crit in this entire series had this energy, there'd be no doubt I would do this every single year. The vibe there, I don't know what it is. I don't know the formula, but the vibe there was huge.
I know the formula, I think, but
what is it?
Well, to reiterate kind of what you were saying, every venue was dead. Lake Bluff wasn't. Lake Bluff was.
No, but Lake Bluff was Lake Bluff.
Yeah, it was the same.
On par for Lake Bluff.
I would say the attendance at other venues was worse than even last year.
I think West Dundee was the same.
West Dundee was dead. Like usually by the end of the day, I'll put it this way. I kind of rank them. What gives me a really good idea is how many people I see that I know. That, in other words, if we're going to be in a particular area, I know that so and so and so and so and so and so live in that area. Therefore, they're probably going to come out and watch the end of the day. I'll see them, talk to them, whatever. Didn't happen at almost every venue. So, like at West Dundee, there's a whole laundry list of people that I usually see out there, and none of them were there. Usually by the end of the day, it's impossible for us to get a seat, down in the big turn at the bottom of the hill. There was plenty of seating.
Yeah.
They weren't selling as much food. They weren't selling as much booze as they normally do. And then all day long up the hill, it was like a ghost town.
Yeah. I mean, keep this in mind. My thoughts are my own about the vibe at the races. I do not stick around for the pro races. So I don't know. And I know the crowds usually come out for the pro races.
Correct.
I don't see that. I just see what I see when I'm there.
What does not work for the series is the fact that most of it takes place during the week. And most of the interesting stuff kind of happens around 5 o'clock or later after the normal work day. Yeah. That being said, the turnout for all the races that I was there was less. So first day, obviously, like I said, second day was, what was the second day?
Glen Ellen.
Turnout was lower, way lower.
Didn't it rain early there?
It rained, and that I think kept a lot of people away. Maybe,
I think so.
Even kept a lot of racers away. I think, but it still had good numbers for racers. But our whole tent was in a completely different area, and I was like, why have we not set up here before? And then it dawned on me, the whole area that we were in, it usually has vendors in it, like tents that are set up by in conjunction with the people running the race. Their beer garden that they had was like empty, whereas every previous year it was slammed, like full of people. People did eventually end up turning up and started coming out more towards the evening. But in general, it wasn't there through the day like it normally is.
I have an opinion on this, though, because for me personally, I have found the stifling humidity making I just don't want to be outside. Yeah. And normally
that's true.
I just don't want to be hanging out at a bike race because it's just uncomfortable to be outside.
Yeah. I always go to the same thing that definitely played a role. We were in the middle of one of the biggest heat waves that we had in this area.
Yeah.
The humidity was just disgusting. I luckily got pretty used to it, but there were a few days where we had to run home And then actually there was the Brookfield day was the worst.
Brookfield was hot.
Was the worst. In addition to, I mean, I
For the heat.
liked the course as a racer.
The course was great,
but being across on the other side of the tracks, you didn't get
Makes
a lot of
huge
the
difference.
local people coming and hanging out because you didn't
Yeah.
have all the restaurants all around on the course.
Needless
like
to
they
say,
had.
you were tended on pavement.
Yes. Well,
Just
no,
boiling.
we put our tent on the easement.
Yeah.
But for some reason, most of Chicago wasn't set up with us most of that time, or at least on that day for sure. But Julie and I made it a point. We were like, okay, we're going to be out here. At set intervals, we need to go inside somewhere.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
so we made it a point to, like, we went and ate breakfast at a certain time. Then we went out and hung out with everybody once they were done with their races and had a beer with them inside a bar that was close so that we were in the cool.
Yeah.
Then we went later to get something to eat for our lunch dinner kind of thing.
Smart.
It's every couple hours just making it a point to get in.
Yeah,
inside.
I know. Even for the few hours that I would be at an event and Darcy would be there, we'd get home and she's like, I'm beat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, that makes
So
sense.
I understand that played a role. I also sit there and okay, Brookfield's a good example. We had every intention of staying the entire day to
Yeah.
watch every race at Brookfield because we really like being at Brookfield.
Yeah.
And there's good participation for the family fun ride and all that kind of stuff. Just like the vibe there. It was so hot. We got to the point where we were like, okay, all of our riders are done. It was during the women's pro race. We're like, all of our riders are done. Everyone is gone. We don't need these tents and gear set up. And that's usually our big hassle is getting everything to the car. So it's like, we're just going to haul the gear to the car and put it away. And then we can hang out here if we still want to hang out here. I lost probably 4 gallons of sweat just hauling the gear to the car. And then when we opened the car to like load it in and stuff, the amount of heat that came out of it, it was just like
in an oven.
We both looked at each other and she was just kind of like, do you really want to stay? And I'm like, let's just go. We're here. We're by the car. Let's just go. So we normally would have stayed the whole day. So that definitely did play into it. I'm not a good judge of that though, because I'm going to stay there for hours and hours and hours anyway, 3 days, whatever. But that's kind of my thing is it's the culture of, maybe not. I was going to say the culture of racing crits around here has changed to the point where people don't stick around. But I remember, this podcast now is what, 9-10 years old, something like that. I discovered the other day. I discovered that I know we were complaining about that back then, that people don't stick around all day. We always hated Masters racers because they would show up right before, do their warm up, do their race, and then go.
Hey.
And
Easy
now,
there.
But it's really kind of to that point now. I know some of the younger teams were sticking around and through the Cat 3 race and then through the Cat 2 race. That was after the women's 2-3, Cat 3, men's 2s. Once all those were done, ghost town.
Yeah, I think the way they run it at Fulton and their race schedule, I think having the pros in the middle of it, it forces the 3s and 4s to show up early.
Totally
hang
agree,
around.
but you cannot do that in the other venues through the week because you can't have the pro race at what, noon? 1, 2 on a Tuesday.
You could, it just wouldn't be good.
It just no one's going to be there.
Yeah.
And they're going to be hyping it up for nothing.
You could at least do it on the weekends.
And you can't do the whole schedule of events later in the day because you run out of light.
Right. True,
as it was, they shortened at least one of the pro races.
Really?
Pro men's race, yeah.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Oh, but
I can't remember what day.
They don't have a problem shortening the pro race when they race at 4:00, but they'll stick all the old men at 4:00 and let them run themselves into the ground.
Yeah, pretty much.
Perfect formula.
Whatever.
Perfect formula.
From that standpoint, the attendance was low. It could be a variety of factors.
Yeah.
I think there's some changes that could be made that could make small improvements maybe, but then again, I'm always trying new things with races, and very seldom do I find something that's earth-shattering in terms of, a major change to change, who all is showing up for it. So
yeah, I don't know.
Incremental changes over time. Apart from that, yeah, Lake Bluff was awesome. Good vibe. It's always good being there.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, that's the first time I've been out to the new location.
Same.
So it's 2 years now. My first time out there. The amount of work that Triple X has done there is just fucking staggering.
I saw Kevin Klein running around just like with a chicken and his head cut off, and he looked at me and he's like, putting on a race is hard. I don't know why I'm doing this.
I saw him later in the day and he looked a little green, and he was like, yeah, I haven't been able to keep any food down for the last 4 hours.
Oh, dude. He's just running around crazy.
I talked to him that day. He sat down and we got a picture together. I'll actually make it the cover picture of this episode. But yeah, he was having a day for sure. He's not the only one that does it, and he will be the first one to tell you that he's not the only one that puts work in to get this thing done. They used the team. They had a lot of help. But it's very spread out for a venue. There is so much infrastructure that's going into it.
Yeah.
And so many different moving things. They really do a good job.
Absolutely.
I am not, I repeat, not going to complain about, this is not a complaint about what Spider Monkey did for years and years and years and years. It's not the same race. It's a completely different race now in terms of the amount of infrastructure and building work and everything that's offered at the venue itself. It made it way more comfortable for everyone to stay there.
I mean, first and foremost, course quality was leaps and bounds better than the old one.
To me, they're the same. Roughly.
No, they were very different.
Yeah.
Very different. Very different. I mean, when you got to race around a parked car in the old course that can't get removed.
Well, I mean, I showed up and they were towing cars when I showed up this year. So
great. I mean,
which made me run back to the car and make sure I had a parking pass put in the window. But,
But, I mean, they really did offer a lot of things at the race that I mean, just think about the number of different people. You have to have different groups and committees because they were selling. They had a beer tent, and selling alcohol, and that was manned by Triple X people. And then they had, Athletico was set up, and
who knows how many crosswalks.
And then you have all the kind of expo-ish.
BMC was there, with a big display.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just a lot, and it was from what I saw. And I spent a lot of time sitting there in the BMC tent and talking to Joan, and she said getting set up was, super well organized, and, just like they had it really, really, really well thought out, and all the details. And I'm sure that there are things that, weren't according to plan, because no wedding goes off without
for sure.
Yes, but still, from the outside looking in and having put on races, it's just like,
that was fantastic event. Fantastic.
And it's I complained. I don't know if I complained, but I was like last year, I'm like, I'm not going to deal with going down there and getting in. It wasn't any harder to get into than the old venue.
No, not at all.
Which means I can be there all the time. I did not set up tents because, quite honestly, you didn't need to. There was plenty of shade, and it's kind of nice to take a break from that hauling gear, even if it's only 4 blocks or whatever. But everyone shows up to it. We had so many people on the team that showed up that hadn't been at any race the entire series. That makes a big difference, So and that's kind of like, why are the crowds down, or why are they so good here? It's in the city. As much as I hate it, because this is a big state, and there's a lot of racers in the whole state, but there's a concentration of them in the city, and they can ride their bike to and or walk to that venue.
Oh yeah.
Now, why don't we have more races in the city? You could not do more races in the city for that kind of expense and not have it. They would have to be on the weekend.
I mean, the fact that they closed down Lake Avenue is huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's a major in and out of the city. A major in and out.
So, I mean, I get it. It's a unique occurrence.
Well,
I don't think anybody should ever.
Excuse me, Lake Street.
I don't think anybody should ever skip it in the future. If you have an opportunity to go and race it, I say that you race it. Some of this, some of this feeling, maybe because I've been working with Triple X for 15 plus years. As a club, we've always been a sponsor of them in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
I've been building wheels for them. I help them out. They help me out. It's a pretty symbiotic relationship. I've gone to a lot of their club meetings, over the years, which honestly I've always been jealous of the amount of organizational effort that they put into their club meetings and stuff. But they also they require pretty hefty dues, and as a result, they have good financial infrastructure to be able to undertake the projects that they're undertaking. Not to cut short the amount of work that they put into it also, but I'm getting away from my point. My point was that because I've been working with them for so long on so many different things, I felt like everywhere I walked all day long, all I saw was a friend of mine, working a corner, course marshaling, running errands, selling the beer, because I don't know how I ran into people in the beer tent, and or working reg or whatever, and and it was very welcoming, very nice, and it's good to be down there. I would have stayed later. I wanted to stay for the whole day. We only took off because it looked like rain was coming in, and in our private chat, Rich Smott said, "Hey, there's a total ground stop at O'Hare right now."
Yeah, when I was driving out, it got real dark and rained real hard.
And it was like, all right, we need to get the hell out of here. If we're going to get out of here, we need to get out of here.
Yep.
And everybody was done. I think it was the women's pro race was almost done or already done.
Yeah, and all it did was sprinkle a little bit.
Yeah.
It really...
Yeah, I wish we would have stayed, but at the same time, we got home, we watched the live feed pretty much the whole way back.
Nice.
Julie had it, and she was reporting it. And then when we got home, she streamed it to the TV, and everybody on our team chat, at home, other chats, everyone was like, the feed is amazing. And they do a stellar job with that as well, too. So
yeah, I watched some of the playback.
It's nothing but compliments over compliments over compliments. That being said, I did not stay up for the end of the pro race. I just couldn't. I was being pulled to my bed somehow,
Yeah.
and I ended up laying my head down, and I slept through until 8:00 the next morning. A good 14 hours in the bed.
So wait, so you missed watching the Cat 5 World Championships?
Oh, I didn't watch anything after the pro. No, I guess I watched the end of the pro race, and then when it started they were lining up the Cat 3s.
Okay.
I watched the because was it Lucas Burgon or whatever the hell his name is?
Yeah.
Wouldn't get the hell out of the street, and they were trying to start the Cat 3 race, and Sonner was like, hey, by the way, guys, there's other people in this world other than you, and guess what? You're not the last race of the day.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's because those guys are just used to, hey, I won, cool, let's take over the street for the next 3 hours or whatever. It's no, that's not how it works today. You need to get the hell out of the road. Yeah. So I did see that, I guess, but then I went to bed and I didn't wake up until the next day. But I didn't watch the Cat 5 thing. I guess having the announcers go apeshit crazy over announcing the Cat 5 race was amazing.
Well, the call-ups were the best part.
Nice.
Because they actually did pro call-ups for the Cat 5s with the little story bios and stuff like
That's
that.
Worth it. That's worth it.
And it was
very nice.
So fun.
That's a cool element to add to a major series.
Yeah.
I really think that's funny.
And I don't,
it's one race, Rob.
No, I'm saying, I was going to say about the announcers. I love our announcers, the announcers that do that series. I love all of them individually. Brad Saunders, great. I've known him since he basically started this back in the Super Week days. Todd Bastide has been doing this forever. He's a great voice, great announcer. Frankie, I love the man. I mean, I was a big fan of his when he was on 7-Eleven, and then through the rest of his race career. And then the fact that he's announcing is not lost on me. And he does a great job with it. And is that it? There's another announcer. No, three. Just the three of them. But, and there's my butt. It's which I've been told is very small. Kenny the other day.
Sounds like it's going to be a big butt.
Kenny the other day was riding behind me and said, "Damn it, Curtis, your calves are bigger than your butt." And I was like, I would take that as a compliment, but I know that just means I have no butt. So, speaking of Kenny, so the one thing that we've gotten used to in this area with Kenny is that Kenny will talk nonstop, and it's just what he does. It's a part of his personality, and he's going to talk the entire time. He is going to fill the air with a level of excitement, even if it's the most boring race on the face of the planet. He will start telling stories about, two unknown journeyman racers in Europe back in '86 when they were trying to climb whatever climb that's similar to what these two riders are going through today, and they're two riders off the back doing nothing. He finds a way to find excitement and put it in through everything, and he does it the entire day. He pays the price.
Yeah, he can't talk.
When he's done, he can't talk at the end of the day. So I understand that, these guys can't necessarily do that, but without a doubt, if you ever listen to the live feed through any of the series or anything else like that, there is nothing being said for 90% of the day, all the way up until they start announcing the women's 2-3 a bit. They'll announce a bit of the men's Cat 2, and then it just starts to crescendo from there. So, the women's pro, they do their whole shtick. Men's pro, they do their whole shtick, but then they're done until the next day. I really wish they did more earlier to be able to drum that up. And I hate to say it, it's almost like if they want to keep those three for the pro stuff, then keep them for the pro stuff. Have one or two of them and throw somebody like Kenny in there for the amateur stuff and let Kenny play it up and get the excitement going. That's part of what would keep somebody in those venues sticking around most of the day, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This is totally my opinion. Like I said, I love all of the announcers, know them all personally. Todd Bustede helped carry tents at not Lake Bluff, at Glen Ellen this year. He literally helped drag two of the tents from the corner over to the crossing for us. Actually, what he said was when he saw Julie carrying one, he was like, "Really? He's going to make you carry the tents?" And then when he saw me, when I grabbed the second one, he goes, "How many years have you been doing this and you still don't have anybody to help you, haul all this gear?" I'm like, "Hey, they come and go. I still got to show up every day. It's just what it is." So, I love them. I love those guys. I'm not saying anything bad about them. I'm just wishing we had more of that fill the air in the morning about some of those amateur races. I apologize if I'm off base. I understand it's a hard job to do.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I did not listen to the live feed at all during the week. I tried to stay kind of mentally disconnected from the racing all morning and just try to not think about it. But I did not realize they, having, because Kenny seems to really have a passion building that excitement for the people that tend to not get a lot of it.
Yeah.
So,
just look what he does for our cyclocross series.
He, because of job demands, being able to take that much vacation time off on top of all the other announcing vacation days that he takes might be a bit of a stretch right now. It would be virtually
impossible.
But I think he has stated intentions to retire in roughly 3 years-ish.
So who knows? Hey. But that would be cool. That's my only input on that. The rest of the series, I think we're in great.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've said negative stuff about this series in the past, but I have nothing negative to say about it at this point. I'm very glad that we have it. I'm very glad that we have this level of crit racing in this area every summer. And I owe a debt of gratitude to everyone involved.
10 days of crit racing in your backyard. You can't complain about that.
Yeah.
No matter what it looks like.
Yeah. And you can probably think better medication for the newer, nicer Rob. More reflective and considerate of everything that I've
other people's feelings.
I did make notes here. The
drugs are working well.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Big Pharma.
I'm not even on that many. It's just whatever.
The right dose. You don't have to be on that many. You just got to be on the right ones.
I'm on one actual drug. The rest are supplements. So if you've ever been slightly on the spectrum-ish or ADD-ish or whatever, and try L-theanine.
Yeah.
That's what you introduced me to. And man, I will tell you that it's like 12 cups of coffee for me.
For me, L-theanine with ashwagandha and GABA is a really awesome little stack.
I get so much done now. I'm so focused. It's insane. Now, anybody that's been in the shop in the last 6 months would go, "It's a complete mess, so you're not getting that much done." But I still got a messy head. I do have a note down here. Any particular performances stand out for anybody? I wanted to carry mine real quick. Wanted to point out Rage Thomas, listener of this program, has been from day one. his collarbone earlier this year and stuck with it, trained, everything with the intention of coming out. I think he did a long write up. Sorry, Rage, I didn't read it on Instagram. If you're interested, go read it on Instagram. But I think his handle is Rager in the Cage or something like that. Ended up podiuming at least 3 times that I saw in the series. So he was able to ride in the middle of the field in the Cat Forest to tail gun it. Not tail gun, but mostly middle of the field. And he was able to, by the end of the race, find his way up to the front and ended up picking up at least 3 third spots, nice. I believe, in the series. Considering a lot of the top spots there were for like juniors that are on their way to being the next, pros or whatever. That is a very impressive performance. I did want to point that out. Anybody else with a great performance? You know what I've said to you. Oh my God, Nate Knowles. Yeah, you know what I've said to you on yours. I think you did an okay job. Yeah. I'll take it.
I would say okay.
You did an amazing job.
Fits the bill.
Loved watching it every single day.
Every day.
Loved being there for it. You didn't do that great, but whatever. I wouldn't have watched you anyway. Let's see, Nate Knowles.
Yeah,
Nate had a stellar series.
He did, and he was exhausted, I think, the whole time because he was working the
He works
fence
the crew.
Yeah.
And then he has a day job. He does remote during the day.
Yeah.
And then he was racing Cat 2 men, and he won day 1 and day 2, which were
Yeah.
good courses for him. And then he doubled up and did pro races on a number of days in the back half. And in all the heat, I'm just like, dude, and I don't know what he did training wise coming into this, other than the fact that he's been racing these 100-mile BWR races, which, because I kind of asked him about that, and he was like, yeah, this is actually similar in terms of that having to dig hard, because on the gravel racing, you're going like hard, and then you have to go really hard for a little bit, and then you go back to hard, and it's just a lot shorter. But it's
at that level of gravel racing, he's doing 6 hours of over unders.
Yeah, essentially. He comes here just to see if he can grab some preems and make a little money working fence crew. I don't think he was really prepared to ride as well as he did.
I will say, not to belay anybody that was in the Cat 2s, anybody else there, but it seemed like he had total control over the entire field at all times. He could basically do whatever the hell he wanted, whenever the hell he wanted to do it.
And that was he did that whole series last year and did not have that same experience. So I think he was kind of like, wow.
And I personally, I did not get a chance to talk to him beforehand. And Nate, you can yell at me if you listen to this. You can yell at me later. But I started to be, after he won the first 2 days, I started going, is he starting to hold back so he doesn't upgrade? Because he placed like 5th consistently for the next like bunch of races.
Well, I think when you get into those traditional sprinter courses, I think those are not going to be his favorites.
Well, he won Glen Ellen from a field sprint.
Well,
yeah, but
from the last quarter,
Glen Ellen's not a sprinter's course.
Yeah,
True.
Glen Ellen, it takes a little bit of skill, especially that U-turn.
Yeah, and that slight uphill in the finish
to the last corner. I mean,
it made sense.
The punchier courses, from what I saw, served Nate well because he could punch really hard, but stay on top of it.
Yeah.
And once he got the gap, when he punched, he could stay on top of it and increase his gap. And then once he just stayed full gas, he got his gap and he would rode away. I mean, he dominated the first 2 days, literally dominated.
Right.
So shout out to
well done, Nate. Well
Nate,
done
for that.
I think he won the overall.
He did.
He won the overall Cat 2, which is phenomenal.
Nice. Yeah. Outside of that, still going on with the little grit theme. I do need to bring it up because it is July 30th that we were recording this. Then it's going to be July 31st. That's how that works.
Usually.
And then the next day is going to be the start of cyclocross season, like we already mentioned at the top of this podcast. With that in mind, I still have a code out there. If you guys don't remember, Tread Savvy, all one word, Tread Savvy, SAVVY, is a website we started to sell cyclocross tires. We will eventually sell some gravel tires as well, too. But right now, we're focused 100% on cyclocross. It's that time of year. So please go out and grab some cyclocross tires from there. I have a code right now, GRIT, GRIT 20. If you input that during checkout, you will get 20% off of every tire. Also, I have not spent the time to get all of my weights and measures and everything else correct. So it is woefully undercharging for shipping. So you're basically getting shipping at half off as well too. So keep that in mind. Go out there and use that. I have, tubeless, tubulars, everything. We're starting to get accessories up on there. You can buy some chamois cream on there. I don't have it fully listed yet, so hopefully I will by the time this goes live. But you should be able to buy chamois cream on there. I think I may even put the coffee on there so you can get some heckler roast on there at some point. But check it out, treadsavvy.com. We got cool little stickers and everything that we're going to ship out to you with you. So I am starting to get a huge queue of gluing already. That is already starting to build up. So you should get on it. Get on it. Side of that, before we've got obviously Gateway. You gonna do Gateway at all?
I think I'm going to pass on Gateway this year. It's way too.
You're not doing Gateway, correct?
I am not.
And then we have the commercial street crit.
So yeah, we have commercial street crit is on August 23rd,
Mhm.
second year running, and it's a phenomenal course and a really great venue. Highly recommend it.
Yep. I'll be
The
the only one.
I'm going to sign up for it this
The
year.
weekend before that, the 16th, I believe it is Edwardsville.
Okay. Rotary,
I
yep.
raced it last year. Also, really great course. I would recommend hauling down there. It's a bit of a drive down towards St. Louis.
It's still part of the ICA Cup,
and
too.
it is the final race in the ICA Cup. So, and then of course we have Little Apple gravel race.
That's where I was going to go to. So before we hit our first cross race, we still have a huge gravel race. It's the Illinois State Gravel Championships out in
Manhattan,
Illinois. That's why it's called Little Apple. It is this Sunday, and it is looking as though it'll be the first time that it's not the nature is not trying to actively kill us while we're out there. So it's going to be 70s most of the day at this point is what it looks like. It is supposed to peak out at 80 degrees. So I'm sorry, but if we actually get that weather, it's going to be a completely different race than any other year we've ever done it, in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to go out there. Great race, great series. Go support it. It is chonky gravel. It is some of the chonkiest gravel that I've had the pleasure of racing on. So, and I've got reports that the black sand is back, or the black gravel is back. So that soul-sucking gravel that's about 10 miles out from the finish, and right before the big hill, the big hill. There's no hills there, but you know what I mean. The one that's if you've done it, you know what I mean. So go out, Little Apple. It's on Bike Ridge. Go ahead and get your registration in and help support that one. Apart from that, we're getting on to cross time. So
yep.
Yeah, I already got my first request to be prom partners for relay cross.
Nice.
So I'm not even decided if I'm going to do relay cross because I may or may not be in Tucson. So
you're probably you're one of those people in high school that got tons of requests for prom.
No, not at all. I was a super nerd, shy little wallflower in high school.
Yeah, but somebody asked you, didn't they?
I went with my boyfriend.
Oh, that's kind of lame.
So
then again, I went with my girlfriends all the time too.
I did not know. I was
no one. I'm trying to get to the fact that
I was
no
a
one's
weirdo in high
me.
school. Nobody asked me to prom.
No one's going to ask me for relay. So if you want, ask me for relay. I would love to do it. Anthony might ask me for fours. We'll see about any other category. I wouldn't mind racing more than once that day. I actually had the fitness this year to do it. So we'll do relay. That's in September 15th or so, the weekend of the 16th.
I heard second weekend. I don't know if that's correct.
Where?
Don't know.
Jackson Park.
Probably Jackson Park. So I heard at one point they got permission to use the other side of the park. So it may.
It's nice that I mean, it's the whole intention with the relay cross for them is they don't want a super hard challenging course. Also, it's they want it to be beginner friendly.
Yeah.
And Jackson Park definitely fits that bill. And if until they start building the library there,
they have been. They've been building it. The building's mostly up as last I checked.
Yeah. So
last I was down that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know what shape it's going to be in, but I'm going to assume there's nothing up about the date or anything. So even us saying it's a second weekend is a stretch. But that's the information we got. Anything else? Anybody got any parting shots they want to throw out there? not shots, but information or
I don't know. Start getting your equipment sorted out for
Yep.
cyclocross. Do it now. Don't wait till it's too late. Start thinking about your cleats and toe spikes and chains and
check your
tires
bearings.
and wheels and bearings. And I just realized today, because I took my cross bike out and it's currently in its gravel configuration with
Yep.
2 rings. So after Little Apple, I got to switch it back to a single. Yeah, so stuff to do.
Keep it in mind and start getting everything going. Obviously, pick up some buttonhole chamois cream. Keep us rolling here.
Oh yeah.
Pick it up at your local retailer, or you can always buy it online at enzocyclingproducts.com or even at treadsavvy.com. Speaking of Tread Savvy, check it out for cyclocross tires. Buy your cyclocross tires this year there. We have made it a point to stock so many challenge tires that even if you're a shop, you should be hitting us up because we can work out your regular wholesale deal, considering most of the distributors are not carrying it anymore. But we care about cross. That's how much we care about cross. So check out Tread Savvy. Buy yourself some buttonhole chamois cream. If anything that we said today was incorrect or that you completely disagreed with, write us an email to roadisdead@gmail.com. Once again, all one word, roadisdead@gmail.com. And while you're at it, you might as well give us your excerpt for what should be the Illinois State Cyclocross Championships, why it should or should not be where it's been. Maybe we'll call it on air, maybe we won't. You never know. Depends on the content. Apparently, there's been some content going on back and forth on different posts. So
I saw it with my own eyes. And now it's gone.
No, it's there. It's there. Turns out it's there. I found it. I'll point it out to you. Anyway, thanks for listening.
I saw it.
Appreciate it and enjoy the ride.